Alright, Heather, I've got your photos here. I figured I'd record it just in case you want to see how this is done. Yeah, so here's the picture you want the heads from. So we'll just, first thing I'm going to do is lasso a big section, kid number 1, do copy, go over to the other document, do paste, and let me turn on my tools here. It's a little smaller, so what I'll do is change the opacity of this layer that I just pasted to 50%. Just hit the number 5, or you can drag it over here with the slider. And what I'm going to do is line up the eyes. So I'll get one eye on, do a Control T, and then move the anchor point so that I can rotate around it by holding Alt and click on that eye, and I'll move my anchor point. And I can zoom back and get my handles and just rotate here and hold down Alt Shift to resize it so that till the other eye lines up. Looks pretty close. Hit Enter to apply it. And then I'm going to change back to 100%, so V0, and put a mask on it. Invert the mask with Control I, and then use my brush set to white at 100% to paint him back on. And it looks like his head's turned a different way, so let's see. Sometimes I'll use the whole head and sometimes not. Just line up his neck instead. And shirt line on. Now I'm going to take this down and blend in his shirt where the focus drops off so it's not so noticeable. Just like that. And then all this green around him, we're going to have to get rid of that. So what I'm going to do, make sure his face is painted on all the way. We can do that. Yeah, see, I need to get back to 100% and bring it all the way back here. What I did there was hit Alt and hold and click the eye, and it shows me just this layer, so I can make sure that I'm in good shape here. Do it again, Alt I to bring it back. And let's fix up that green around him. So what I'm going to do here is, while I'm on the mask, I'll do Control Alt R. It's the Edge Refinement tool. And if I just take this and paint around his head, I think I'm maybe too loose with my initial mask. Let go of it. Yeah, too loose. Cancel that. Let's get it closer. So make sure I'm up at 100%. Get rid of that green. We're going to start to see some of his other face here, so we'll fix that in just a second. But we'll get that closer. Now we'll do the Edge Refine tool. Control Alt R. And we'll see what happens if we paint now. Perfect. So it'll figure out where his hair is against the green and do a little bit better job masking that off than I could do manually. Click OK. Great. I'm going to take off the rest of this. Let me just look at that layer again. Just clean that up a bit. Good. Now for his old head, let's turn that off, and I'm just going to get rid of it. Make a copy of the background layer just for safety. And I'm going to use I think I'm going to use the healing brush. Let's see how this works. Yeah, it's going to be just fine. Just kind of hit that tree there, and it'll go and blend in with the grass, so you won't see much of a difference. And when we turn this back on, we're in good shape. I can still see a little bit of a halo, so let's take and just kind of blend that together so it matches the texture on the tree. rid of that bug flying. And then down here in the grass. Let's use the clone stamp, set it to normal, 35% opacity, and just make that grassy. Cool. Good, now I'll just check it close and make sure he looks good, and I think he does. A little bit of something going on down here. Just clean that up. Clone stamp. Just turn green. Awesome. Save it. Let's do the next boy. My guy in the middle here. Same thing. Lasso tool. Drag him in a circle. I like to keep it kind of loose in case I have to blend in some of his shirt, so that's why I don't try to do it real close. You don't need to because you're going to mask it. So, alright, copy. Go over here and paste it. And again, set it to 50% opacity and line up the eyes. Grab this one. And make it big. Looks good. Let's see if we line up the head. It might be in a little better shape. Looks like he's tilted just a little bit differently on this one, so I'll line up the head this time. And just because, we'll go ahead and get rid of this fuzzy head. And again, I'm using the healing brush on this. Paint over it, and then when I let go, it'll blend everything together so that it's a little more consistent background-ish. We're really only going to see the edge sticking out, so I'm not too concerned with how mucked up that looks back there. But when we turn the head back on, set that to 100%, put a mask on it, and then we can invert the mask and paint his face back on. And again, we're going to have to deal with that green there, which is not a problem. Make sure all that ear comes in, and then we'll check it, make sure we got everything. Yep. And I think we'll go and do his neckline as well. So we'll drop the opacity to kind of blend it with the softer one. Bring that back. Yeah, nobody will ever know. Alright, let's get this just a little bit closer here. We want to be at 100%. Refine edge, Control-Alt-R, and then let's paint around his hair. Great. Nope. Around his ear. It's going to do weird stuff on that highlight on his ear, so we'll have to go back and fix that manually as well, but for our purposes, we're good there. And I saw there was a little bit showing around the perimeter, so I'll just wipe that off. Actually, that doesn't look too bad. If I paint that ear back on, yeah, we're good. That's fine. Okay. A little bit of light behind him is a little bit, doesn't look quite right, so I'm going to go clone stamp normal, just darken that. Perfect. And then my little guy here, same thing. Lasso tool, I'll get his shoulders, copy, paste it on, drop the opacity. And I do that by hitting V for move tool, and the number 5 on the keypad just drops it to 50%. 6 would be 60%, 7, 70%, and so on. So that's what I'm doing there for the keyboard shortcuts. Control T, and Alt click to move that anchor point to the eye. I'm doing Shift Alt so that it moves relative to the anchor point. Get his eyes the right size. Line his head up. Good. Drop back to 100. Put a mask on it. Invert the mask. Paint that back on. Looks like I might not have to go all the way down to his shirt because his neck lines up pretty well. And like the others, I'm going to go ahead and take off the old head. Healing brush, and I'll grab right here and start there. Just paint. Oh. Get this side here after that gets done thinking. What I'm doing here is making sure that I grab directly to the right so that that line of dark grass up against the green continues across and it's not broken. We'll get rid of that little bit of hair popping up. Blend that a little bit. Take from right there. Good. If we turn the other head back on, oh, and I can see where I didn't get it quite painted back in there, so we'll go back to the mask. Paint it at 100%. I don't know what your level of use is on mask, so I apologize if I sound condescending. With I'm not sure. Maybe you're a pro at this, but when you're using a mask, when you paint on white, it paints your mask on like that. When you switch it to black, you can either hit these arrows or hit the X key. It paints black on there and gets rid of your image. So whatever is being masked, that's how it goes. But like I said, if you already know that, my apologies. We'll just paint this close because we're going to use that refine edge to get it all the way down. So let's turn everything else back on, and that was Alt, click the eyeball, and then we'll do Control Alt R to bring up that dialog and paint around his hair and ears and neck. And over here, this tool's so cool. Like, it'll figure out where those little bits of hair are and just do it for you, which is unbelievably cool. And good. Let's make sure we've got that separated. Good. Alright, click OK. This little bit of neck here is going to need to be fixed up, but other than that, I think we're in good shape. So I'm going to keep it on my mask, and I'm going to drop the opacity because we're going to blend it together with the original image. And let's paint it on so we're on white. Good. And good. Cool. And that's all there is to it. I'm going to save that out. Just going to check. If we turn off that thing, yeah, we're in good shape. I see a little bit of blending here. I'll go ahead and fix that up. See where that edge is right there? If we turn it off and on, it's very noticeable. So let's just blend that together. Oops, undo. There we go, and this one as well. Get that dark. Great. It's also good sometimes if you go up to the top layer and put an adjustment layer on there for levels, and we can just check and see if anything jumps out as looking weird. If we pull the blacks all the way in, sometimes you can see much better where you've maybe need to blend more. I don't see anything going on here, but that can be a helpful trick. And then you can just toss this, which obviously we don't want it to look like that. Alright, so save it. I'm going to save you out of JPEG, and that is how I switch heads